it does appear that Azul is playing first, so he is going to get the full benefit of having the extra cards.
And we're going to be off to the races. Lele for Bridget.
It is the play.
It seems to be one of the big plays of the day.
Yeah, and I guess the thing that really makes Bridget so good right now is that the wording on it allows GXs to be grabbed.
Correct.
Where it does not allow EXs, where you know, from a mechanic standpoint, a basic GX really is an EX, but they never errated the wording, and they've allowed that to stand. But even so, Azul goes straight for 3 Trubbish, so he's really taken the Garbodor approach on this, which we've seen Jason play around quite well. So it's going to be interesting to see how this game plays out.
Oh yeah, for sure. It's not going to be. I wonder if maybe Azul doesn't realize, like, how.
I think it's fair to say that Azul probably didn't test against this particular matchup. This is not a deck one expects to see in the meta right now.
I think Azul sees it more as he's got to try to get out energies as fast as he possibly can because of like we were saying before, like a speed Darkrai. Darkrai needs those energies super fast. Xerneas doesn't. Xerneas just needs to build them.
Yeah.
It can Geomancy 4 or 5 turns.
So we see the end from Jason. He did get the attach onto the Xerneas. Got a Lele down. Got another Xerneas down. So Jason is going to be able to get a nice full Geomancy on this turn, even if he pulls nothing on this end.
Oh, yeah.
That is basically what it looks like. I really didn't get anything of great consequence. So there's the Geomancy, 2 more energy come out, and Jason's got his acceleration started. So this is where as a Xerneas player, you don't necessarily mind that playing second. If you've got that Xerneas up front and you've got your attach and you can get 2 on the bench, you're sitting pretty.
I think this is where if you're sitting here as a Xerneas player, I think this is the spot where you're thankful he's not playing the Magma Base one. Because if this was Magma Base, it'd probably be over.
Yeah, that's true, because the downside to the Rainbow Energy version is that Azul needs to power up that Drampa, but he needs to get some damage on that bench as well, and so he's going to go ahead and get that damage on the bench now with the Rainbow on the Lele, but that could have very easily, in the Magma version, that could have been the double colorless going on the Drampa, and he's swinging for the knockout right away, but instead he's got to take a slower approach in this particular instance.
And again, I think this comes back down to what Jason was saying about this 50-50. Sometimes you as the Drampa player, you want to be the slower player because it's harder for Xerneas to deal with, like, the stadium or with the Rainbow Energy than it is the stadium. But here you kind of wanted the stadium because you were going to get the knockout that you needed.
Yeah, absolutely. So it'll be interesting to see how that a little bit of initial slowness plays out for Azul.
Oh, and I completely forgot that Azul was playing his Zygarde, and there he goes.
Yeah, that's a tech that, again, in this matchup really doesn't end up being terribly relevant.
I'm kind of confused what Azul is.
He went for the ability Garbodor there. So abilities are locked off. It's not really a big deal. We're just cutting off Lely's and maybe Jason's Oranguru.
Well, I'll tell you what, that big wheel was a pretty big deal because there are all the energies he needed.
That's true.
And now it doesn't At this point in time, unless, because we're at the point where
Yeah, there's the end. So that big wheel is no longer a big deal.
but as long as Azul grabs the DCE out of these 7+ cards, whatever he's gonna get, he's gonna start hitting for knockouts now.
Yeah, that is true.
Geomancy, no Geomancy, it's not gonna matter at this point. He's knocking things out.
Does not look like Azul got the DCE in his initial 6, but he does have some potential to find it on his turn. So we see the Oranguru hit the field. And there's the Geomancy. So we're up to 5 energy, nope, 7 energy now on Jason's side of the field.
And there's a Sycamore to look for those DCEs. There's a Ultra Ball to thin the deck if he has to, which it looks like what he's gonna do. Maybe even possibly thinking about going after another Drampa at this point.
Yeah, if he's realized that that's going to be his power play in this match, that might be the way he goes. Is that a Lele?
Yeah, it's a Lele.
Tell me he's not going to drop that on the field with this Garbodor active.
He might just want it out of the deck.
It could be. He could be sycamoring it away. Absolutely.
And if Jason's going to build up a bunch of big energy attackers, Lele doesn't look too bad as an attacker.
No. Oh, Lele goes into the hand for the moment. He drops the Lele. So he's filled his bench. And he knew he wasn't getting a supporter off that, so he's... Yeah, like Tom said, the Lele's not a bad option for an attacker. He does hit the DC for the Drampa.
We also have to remember that Azul is one of the players playing 4 Tapu Leles in his deck. So he, like I said, he knew going into this he was okay with attacking with it.
It's very true.
Now Jason needs the double colorless energy in order to one hit, I believe.
Yeah.
It's
1, 2, 3, 4.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Yeah.
So
7.
7 after attachment is 140.
170.
Yeah,
He
needs that double colorless energy.
Actually, I think he just needs any energy.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 is 140.
Plus 30
is 170.
170. So, and he gets 20 per energy, so he just needs 1 attach, right?
No. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If he would have attached the fairy from his hand, that would have been 7.
Ah.
So
I think on the screen I was mistakenly seeing something that was actually in the discard pile.
Yeah, so he's gonna need the double colorless energy off of I believe he just played an N if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. But if he doesn't hit the N, this could be real bad news for Jason.
Yeah. And if he does hit it, it puts Azul in a little bit of a tight spot, at least for the next turn. It does not look like he's going to find it.
He missed it. And this could be one of those spots that Jason was talking about.
Oh, the elixir. There's something he did hit an extra energy on the elixir, so we didn't calculate that into the...
I didn't see that he pulled an elixir, but there it is.
Yeah, so there's the energy he needs. He's going to take Drampa on this turn.
And I don't know if there's a real good way for Azul to respond.
No, probably not for a turn or two anyway. So I think Jason's going to get a couple free pop shots in here. If Jason can hit some Lysanders, this game could turn in Jason's favor very quickly.
I mean, let's not forget, though, either that Azul is a little bit more skilled than a senior that just aged up.
Yeah, absolutely. Azul's a multi-time world qualifier. Winner of many a tournament.
I mean, things that we're overlooking right now, he might not be. If there's 120 damage available in that discard, which I'm sure it's probably got to be close, if he starts taking out things like the regular Xerneas,
Yep, so it's 120, just like you said.
So, see, I think if you would have been able to take out the Xerneas before the break, he would have been in a real good spot.
So we do see the N again. There's the experience share, which is going to be a key for Jason to be able to keep rolling. And he takes the knockout on the Garbodor. Looks like Azul does have a DCE. He could attach to Lele and take the knockout with a Lele. But I'm not sure that's the kind of option he wants to go with. I think he would really like to get a Trash Lance going on this turn. I don't think he wants to present the two prizes. He is going to go with the DCE on a Lele.
And
nope,
just
he did not actually let his hand off that one.
And just a quick recap because it came up in the chat real quick. Top 8 was first seed Brian Hunter, second seed Nathan McGilvray,
McGilvray, yeah.
McGilvray. Then Justin Bocari, our finalist Jason Annichiarico, Eamon Johnston, other finalists Azul. 7th was Zachary Bakari, and our 8th seed was Frankie Durso. And it looks like it might just be a Lele hit this.
Yeah, I think that's what's going to be coming.
And I wonder if Azul's thinking that maybe next game he's gonna go more of a Drampa approach.
Yeah, I think he probably is rethinking his strategy for the next game because this strategy does not appear to be working for him right now.
But he is only playing 2 Drampas.
Yeah, so it's gonna be hard for him to find the damage elsewhere though. I mean the Lele's. Yeah, they can do something, but the way Jason's distributing his energy, Lele's are going to have to be pretty loaded to actually be able to take those knockouts.
And he has to find ways to unload those energies that are actually on the Xerneas.
So there's the choice band, which is pretty key right here. I think Jason needed either that choice band or a double colorless to be able to return the knockout on Tapu Lele. So we do see him get that. He takes 2 more prizes, which I believe brings him down to his last prize. So right now, I think Jason's got Azul pretty much where he wants him for the moment.
Oh, we're gonna see an N. I don't know if there's enough in the discard yet. Azul might have to hit something like Energy Field Blower in order to get there, and it seems pretty rough for Azul right now. And he does have the knockout.
Wow! All right.
So Jason's gonna have to come back with something.
Yeah.
This could be a spot where we see like the Ninja Boy.
This is definitely a spot where the Ninja Boy would be huge. But I don't know if Jason's gonna find that. And he did get cut down to just the 1 card, and he obviously drew the card return. I think he's just dealing with a choice band and Fairy Energy right now. He was contemplating attaching the energy to the Lele and attacking that way, which looks like that's the route he's going to take. I really think it's the only route he can take right now. Stick the choice band on the Xerneas and just hope it'll all work out.
But we see that if it was doing 150 last turn, he has a choice band in hand. All of a sudden, this Garbodor is gonna take down this Lele, and he's right back in it.
Yeah, he absolutely is. Jason will really need to. I think if this Lele goes down, which it should, Jason's kind of got to hope for maybe a Sycamore and hit a few cards that are going to allow him to maybe power up that Oranguru and take the knockout with that.
He's gonna have to go pretty deep on this at this point.
Yeah, the Sycamore or a Ninja Boy into a Xerneas would get Jason the game in that situation as well. But that's a hope and a prayer, and I don't know.
And we see another choice band. We also see a field blower, which could potentially knock off the choice band that's on the Xerneas.
Yeah. Which
doesn't seem like it's a big deal, but
that's more damage.
Yeah, you're not gonna ever get that experience share off of the Regirock, so.
No.
And there we go.
There's the field blower. So that's a nice handy knockout there. So yeah, Jason at this point he was just praying to actually get something. He's not scoops.
Yep.
So Azul takes game 1 and
navigated it beautifully.
Yeah. And that's why Azul's a multiple-time world qualifier. He doesn't give up, and he knows how to play through tight spots.
Oh yeah, definitely. I actually watched Azul this year play one of my favorite decks of the year to a regional win this year when he played in Canada with Lurantis Vileplume and Expanded.
I think if you're Jason, you've got to be feeling the pressure right now. You're down, it's do or die here. You got to win 2 in a row. You just had a game where, you felt like you had it. You were up, had a lot of energy on the board, and somehow Azul just found a way to pin him into just the right corner and take him out.
Jason's a really skilled player, though. He's been through this stuff a whole bunch. I don't think he's as nervous or worked up as you might think, because he knew going into it that it was a 50-50 matchup. So sometimes he's gonna win, sometimes he's gonna lose.
It's true, and he's had his fair share of winning today. So
and it's not like this is a deck that, like he said when he came into the day, okay, it just beats these decks. I'm okay with it just beating these decks. He said it's a deck that's exactly on that 50-50 line. And I mean, he beat it 2 out of 3 earlier. This might just be the opposite side of that coin.
Yeah, that could very well be. And we do see, again, pretty much the starting play of the day, the Ultra Ball into the Lele, into the Bridget, and the double Xerneas and the Regirock. And we also do see the experience share hit the field on the Regirock.
And I think this is pretty key, because this is the first time I think I've seen turn 1 Regirock with an EXP share on it.
Yeah, I mean, this is, for a starting turn, this was really, really good for Jason. He got all of his starters that he really wants to see on the field in the first turn. He got his stadium up, so he got the Xerneas to the front. He's in position. He's ready to start building energy on his next turn.
I think something that that a lot of people might overlook at this point, though, is even though Jason he had an explosive turn, it was great, he went through quite a few items.
He did, which is definitely a risk. It opens the door for Azul to make better use of that Garbodor potentially if Jason keeps spending those items. And if Azul is given access to that Garbodor as a viable attacker, I think this match actually starts to swing back in Azul's favor, more than just the 50-50 that Jason called it.
Oh, okay. It's just Jason's hand. Did you notice his Orangaroo's like cut in half on the stream? It looks like
Oh,
because he's got black sleeves on black mat.
yeah. So yeah, the dangers of playing black sleeves and black mat. Sometimes it looks like your cards get cut in half. So again, we saw again the big play with the Lele and the Bridget, 2 Trubbish and a Drampa. And Lele is going to come up and be the swinger right now. And Jason's going to hit up the Sycamore.
And for chat purposes, Erod 1990. I didn't say he invented Lurantis Plume. I just said it was one of my favorite decks that I watched him win with. So it's okay, buddy. I don't think you invented Azul though. It's okay.
This is definitely one of those who's your daddy moments. So we see another Geomancy from Jason, who's just trying to get his field built up as much as he can so that he can hopefully just roll through. And Azul's going he's going aggro with that Lele with that additional attachment, and then we see the end.
Azul apparently
we've got a whole family tree developing in the chat here. So it's an interesting thing seeing who comes out in the community as people's fathers and children and
apparently all blood related.
I'm not touching that comment.
Nope, neither am I. We're gonna pass on that comment there, buddy. But yeah, it looks like he's thinking about just going real aggro with the Lele.
He's gonna just try to top Hoopu all over those Xerneases, and he gets the knockout there. Yeah, and we see the second Fairy Energy attached. We see the choice span there. Looks like 5, 7. Yep, that's a knockout. Perfect math on the Lele. So that was kind of that was a big knockout for Jason. It took all the energy off of Azul's field.
Yeah, that's a really big knockout. But again, we've seen this once before. Last game, it looked pretty rough for Azul.
Yeah, it's really hard to say how this game's going to go at any moment. Both these guys are skilled players who know what they're doing, and it's hard to sit here and actually know what's going through their minds and what they're planning to do.
I think the big thing that we need to be thinking about right now is how many items are in that discard?
That is a very good question.
Because I don't know about you, but me personally, I only see one Xerneas out there. And if that Xerneas goes down, it could be real bad.
Yeah, unless Jason can get a hold of a Ninja Boy and Ninja Boy into another one, but even then, he's still got to get more Xerneas on the field in order to keep up this attack.
And again got end into a dead hand.
Yeah, he's got an attach, potentially an extra energy on the elixir there, but that's not what he wants to see.
And Azul got the Ultra Ball to get the Garbodor. This could be a very swingy point in the game right now. And the Trash and Lanch does knock it out.
Wow. Wait. Nope. We're counting. Does not knock it out, apparently. Or it does. So it looks like the Trash List only does 60, so that was That was interesting that Jason thought that there was enough in there. So we see the Lysander from Jason bringing up the Drampa, and he's going to knock the Drampa out. So that was kind of big. I don't know.
Yeah, that was.
I don't know what happened there. Like it felt like there might have been maybe a miscalculation somewhere.
And it wasn't just among like one of the players. Like Jason also was packing his Xerneas up to go.
Yeah, we saw Jason, Azul, and the judge all counting the discard pile on that one. It's surprising that not only was it short of the knockout, but it was grossly short of the knockout.
Oh yeah. And here's another Xerneas.
Another Xerneas. And in the end, Jason would have much preferred the Lysander, but
I mean, him drawing that end now means that he doesn't have to play it next turn. It gives him a couple extra cards. Because I think he's at 3, if I'm not mistaken. He's at 2.
2. Yeah, he's knocked out two GXs.
But there's that Lysander that you were talking about. So
yeah, so that's big, but it's not. The Lysander might not even matter in the next turn though. Does look like Xerneas break will go down, but now that Jason's got that the other Xerneas on the field, he might be able to find a way to get an attack out. So Azul's going with another Lele. Powers it up with DCE. So Azul is buying into the Lele power right now.
and he's just gonna go for the knockout.
Yep. Makes sense. I mean, Jason only needs one prize. Present the target with larger health. Jason chooses to move the Regirock up. He does have a stadium in place, so he'll be able to free retreat that if he wants to. He's just giving himself options to see what will actually happen this turn.
I think he definitely has to. I don't know about a want, but...
Yeah, he obviously doesn't want to lose all that energy, so he's going to go ahead and bring up the Lele now with 3 energy on it. It's going to deal a nice 100 damage. So he's... Azul will be able to retreat that Lele with a Float Stone and present a moving target, but Jason is sitting on that Lysander.
He is. And after last turn of just bring something up, attack, it might not be on Azul's radar. Azul might think that he drew dead.
Okay, so Leaf Blower is going to knock out the stadium.
He knocked off his own Float Stone.
He knocked off his own Float Stone. What a curious choice. Maybe Azul's looking for a choice band here. But I don't see how that's going to matter, given that he's about to attach to the Drampa.
Unless he plans on actually manually retreating, because he doesn't want the Lele to have the energy.
That's true. He does need that. Yeah, if that Lele goes free of energy, that does force Jason to need an energy or a choice band to be able to make that Lysander count. So that could be exactly what we're going to see here. We do also see the Lysander to the Xerneas and bring the Drampa up. So what Zul's doing here is he's forcing Jason essentially to need more cards to be able to get it done. So we do see the energy there. That's going to allow Jason to hard retreat. But he's like, hey, I need to hit this elixir first. And there he's got it. So Jason's going to be able to hard retreat that Xerneas into the Tapu Lele. We're going to see the Lysander onto the other Tapu Lele, and that's going to be game. So Jason takes game 2. So we're going to go to game 3 in the final.
Oh, yeah?
And, you know, we are seeing that 50-50 on this matchup.
We saw that really weird play, though, come up where it looked like neither player was really paying attention to the discard at all. And I think it hurt Azul.
Yeah, it absolutely did, because thinking that he had the knockout there and Jason almost buying it, that was a big turning point, because I don't think Azul would have made that play.
I mean, based on body language, Jason sold it more than Azul did.
Yeah, absolutely. Jason was ready to pack that Xerneas up and send it home. He had that energy, was already moved onto the XP share Regirock in the back and everything. But yeah, as it turned out, Azul only did 60 of the needed, is it 140 or 150 damage?
150 damage from the Xerneas break.
So that was big. That allowed Jason to take a big knockout on a Drampa that had been benched that he brought up, and it really changed the game.
So now they got about a half hour left, roughly, to play this one game.
And this is it. This is for all the marbles. I think I think there's something about 2 boxes worth of product for the winner. I think.
Yeah, it's a pretty heavy prize pool, and
that champion mat and that beautiful 50 points that either of these guys would love to start their season off with.
Oh yeah, definitely. Like,
but even the loser of this match is still gonna be walking away with 40 points and quite a hefty amount of product as well. So both of these guys are I don't think either of these guys are gonna be disappointed at the end of the day, but they both want this really bad.
I think that 10 points means more to them than any change in product from first place to second place.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Like we discussed at the start of the day, this season, you can win into your World's Invite strictly on league cups, but you need to win them. You need 2 wins per 3-month section of the season, and you can get your 400 points for your invite on that alone. So yeah, those 10 points are huge. Those are absolutely huge, because if you miss them on either one of those 8, that means you've got to get out to the larger tournaments. You've got to get out to the regionals. And I know that Azul's going to be out at the regionals anyway, but still, the more points you can have, get into that top 16 spot, that guaranteed day 2. That's a big deal for these guys.
Yeah, both Azul and Jason are pretty large travelers as far as the game's concerned. I spent some time with Jason down in the New Jersey area, and I've talked to Azul a couple times up in the Massachusetts area. So those were the big spots when I first started playing. So
so we do see Azul working on his first turn during this final game here.
And it looks like
it has not been the typical Bridget turn that we've been used to seeing. But we do see a Lele on the field and a couple Trubbish, and Azul's got the N going. And it looks like he's going to go the route of trying to push the Leles again.
I mean, it didn't really work for him last time.
But I think the biggest thing last time was that miscalculation on the Trashalange, though. I think if he doesn't make that miscalculation, he plays that differently, and I think the game plays out differently, too.
I definitely think that him going first is also a pretty big deal, because that means that there might be some insignificant damage that Trubbish takes up front that doesn't really matter, and things along those lines.
It's a possibility. I think it's a rather remote possibility with Jason's strategy, because Jason's going to be going for that Geomancy as quick as possible. But he does have a Tapu at the start, so Jason might opt to go for early damage.
Well, we also know that we've seen anyway in Jason's deck that it's a little bit harder to get turn 1 Geomancy when you don't start a Geomancy.
That is true. So we on the Bridget we see 2 Xerneas and the Oranguru come out. So we get the manual attached to one of the Xerneas.
So he's not worried about what's going on with this Tapu Lele.
No, I think he's content to sit on that Lele for a moment. And Azul actually Lysanders the.
He wants to get that first hit in.
Yeah, for sure. There's the Rainbow Energy, so if Drampa comes into play later and that Lele's still around, Drampa will be able to Berserk for the full amount. So 60 is a pretty good number on Xerneas with its 120 health. That is 2-shot. The break does throw a little bit of a kink out there.
I mean, he still only needs 1 energy, though. 1 energy could really start taking it to Jason.
Yeah. So we see the experience chart go down on Lele. Jason plays the Sycamore. Is picking up a fresh 7. And energy attack return onto the rear Xerneas.
And I think that that EXP share is a pretty juicy target for a field blower.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's not on that Regirock, so it's not safe. There's the Geomancy. So the energy is going on the back Xerneas as well as the Lele.
And there's the field blower.
Yep, and there goes the experience here. But I mean, to be fair, Jason was just gonna ditch it on Sycamore anyway, so there was no harm in taking the gamble.
And a little bit more shuffling.
Yes. Never enough shuffling here in the Pokemon TCG. Alright, so Azul ditches the Rainbow Energy and the Choice Band on the Ultra Ball. I can only assume that he's probably going to go for a Garbodor. That does appear to be the case. So, Trash Avalanche, Garbodor hits the field.
That's odd because the Tapu Lele did need that energy to one-shot the Xerneas.
Well, I think even with that energy, if I'm not mistaken, that Lele comes up 10 short. Needs 90, that energy would only give it 80.
So we needed the double colorless
So he
energy.
needed a double, yeah. Which he just found. Now Jason does have a double colorless of his own. He's got an elixir. He's got a VS Seeker. If he were to hit everything he possibly could, there might be a way he can pull out a knockout here. But honestly, I think that's an extremely risky and outside play because he's got to hit a lot of cards. He is going to hit that elixir. The elixir succeeds on like the second or third card. Let's see what he chooses to do next. 'Cause he's gonna go big on that Lele. So that Lele actually is going to be able to do some work. And there's the Sycamore. So Jason is digging. He really wants to see a Choice Band. He's got a Choice Band in hand right now.
It's odd how this game, after so much of Pokemon trying to develop it to not be a Mewtwo war.
It's
Essentially a Mewtwo war.
Yeah, the only difference now is that the Mewtwo war is a little slower because you don't have the weakness factored in. But yeah, this is very reminiscent of the Mewtwo wars of years past. So again, that's, Azul chooses to load up the Lele, and Jason kind of punishes him for it again.
I definitely
And personally, I'm really questioning Azul's choice to go with the same strategy 2 games in a row when it didn't work in the previous game.
Yeah, I figured he would have kind of had a plan after game 1. Looked like he was set. He was doing his thing. He knew where he wanted to go with it, and then all of a sudden he changed plans.
Yeah, well, he did just hit the teammate. So this is going to be a moment for us to see how Azul is going to play the rest of this game. The 2 cards he chooses is going to tell us a lot about how he plans on finishing this out.
One was definitely a choice band, it looked like. So I definitely saw the choice band. I couldn't really pick up that bottom card. Double
like
colors energy.
So it looks like he might just be sticking with the Lele strategy. Oh, he's gonna go right now. He's gonna go to the Garbodor. I think he's gonna get Jason to take an odd prize.
Well, we definitely saw him making Jason count. The big thing here, though, is now Jason has to come up and attack with the Xerneas because the Lele doesn't knock it out.
No.
And the Lele will get knocked out in return.
Yeah. Perfect world right now for Jason would be to retreat that Lele, find that Ninja Boy, and turn that into a Regirock.
Oh, yeah.
Because Azul has no way to get at Regirock, and that would just negate that damage. But I do not think that that's what we're going to see here, as we've seen an end played. Though Jason did pick up the Ninja Boy off the end, so if he can preserve that Lele for this turn, he might be able to save that energy.
Oh,
Super Rod goes down.
There's a pretty high chance that he's able to save the energy either way. Give or take the Azul having a Lysander.
Yeah, exactly.
But if Azul does have the Lysander and does take off this huge chunk of energy from Jason, it could be real big.
Could be. We do see Choice Band go down on the Xerneas. There's the free retreat thanks to the stadium. And Jason's going to go ahead and take that single prize knockout.
And I don't think I see it.
I don't think I see the Lysander, so it'll be really interesting to see what Jason chooses to do. Whether he'll actually turn that Lele into a Regirock or not and lock that energy in. Or if he'll just leave the Lele up there as a potential punisher, because that's a hefty Lele right now, and with Azul seeming to want to push the Leles himself, it might not be a bad idea to leave it up there, but it is definitely a risk.
Oh yeah, for sure. I almost think he locks it in if he elects to Ninja Boy it.
So there's the end. So now it's quite likely Jason will not immediately have that Ninja Boy available. I'll tell you though, if he does hit that Ninja Boy and he does lock that in, I bet you he's gonna change his tune about wishing he had changed that card.
Oh yeah.
So we did see Jason hit the VS Seeker off that end, so he was sifting through his discard pile there to see what his options are in the next turn. So Azul picks up the N off the Lele. We see Ability Lock go into play, and we're gonna have a Trash Lanch.
For almost nothing.
For 80. And Jason's hitting the now Jason's going big on the Lele. Attaches a 5th energy to Lele, takes the knockout with Xerneas. Jason's down to 2 prizes at this point, and Azul still has 5. It is very likely that we're gonna see either the Xerneas or the Lele go down on this
It
turn.
looks like the Lele's about to go down, and the Xerneas has a bunch of damage on it.
That could spell trouble for Jason.
Jason only needs what looked to be 1 or 2 more prizes, but at this rate...
Yeah, there goes the Lele and all the energy with it.
It looks like it's going to be one of those things where he's going to try to run him out, and that Ninja Boy could have been huge.
Yeah, really could have been. So I believe we're in the deck now with an Ultra Ball. Jason pulls out the Xerneas. Building up the Rangaroo, and it's going to go with the Sycamore. There's the Ninja Boy back in his hand a little too late. And another attach there. And another Xerneas hits the field. So at least Jason is building up the ability to play for a few turns, but it's hard to say if he's going to be able to build up enough momentum to actually to take those last 2 prizes. I mean, Jason is going to be able to hit for a respectable amount.
Oh, yeah. It's just... there's so many ifs at this point that you almost don't know what the players are thinking. Is he going to retreat? Is he going to go into the other Lele? Is he going to hope that it's just enough to hold off this onslaught? The ability to... does he have a field blower to knock off that experience share and the choice band and really stick whatever he's got up there?
So he opts to do 150 to Tapu Lele, bringing it to just 20 health. Jason could win on the next turn if he can catch the Lysander, regardless of what Azul's going to do here. Although there is the is Tapu Lele able to cure itself, or is it only on the bench?
I believe it's only the bench.
So he would need to be able to retreat into that and have a Psychic Energy on the other Lele. But it is something we could see.
Retreats in the Garbodor and Trash Lanches.
Yeah.
Justin needs Lysander. He has N.
He's got N. So both players at 2 prizes at this point. Very tight, very tense game. And these 2 prizes are going to be for the tournament. Whoever takes them wins this, gets their 50 points. And it's a big step on the start of this 2017-2018 Pokemon season.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So we've got another Xerneas hitting the field. It looks like Jason is contemplating bringing up a Oranguru, and he's going to go ahead and do that. He's hitting for 80. I think it is a little bit interesting that Jason chose to bring the Oranguru up, as it's his only fully prepared damaging attacker at this point.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure that that it's safe. I feel like Trash Lance might be able to take it out.
If Trash Lance is able to take out this Oranguru, and there's no way for Jason to respond, it could be it.
Yeah, I mean, so we do see
Jason needs a double colorless energy, I believe, to win.
He's gonna need a break too. Well, yeah, double colorless, but he would still need the Lysander, and
Azul wins.
It. Yeah. So Azul is the champion today in the Kirwan's Game Store Burning Shadows Pokemon League Cup.
And we'll try to get Azul down here for an interview real quick.
Yeah, so really great gameplay here in the final round.
Yeah, definitely.
I think only game 2 was really runaway. Both games 1 and 3 were pretty tight games.
Oh yeah, definitely, and they definitely lived up to the expectations of a good finals.
Yeah, absolutely. Hands down, I think it was the best match we streamed all day.
So like Greenlander's breaking into the Batcave, and what does he discover? A cave inside the Batcave.
Caveception.
Yes.
I
Their lip sync
I
battle.
heard she's not even in the movie that much.
What? Well, of course. I mean, it's Mary Jane. It's not Mary Jane Presents. It's Spider-Man Homecoming. Okay? You know? But I mean, and you score 6 victory points. But while that Flash is in play, the Rogues cannot use their game effect, which is called teamwork. Right? So when I